Okay.
Hello YouTube. We kind of had a mess up with the camera, so we already got the telescoping lid pulled off on the bees tonight. But we already started pulling honey off these the other night. But now I've got my lovely camera woman Amanda, my lovely wife, coming out to help us. Now you see this stuff on the inner cover here. That's that bee feed. BEs. I can't remember the exact name of it. Watch the other video. But they haven't really been eating it as much as we thought they would be. My one supplier, we've been looking at it. And it's a test for us this year, so we'll see how it goes. Now this was my hive that overwintered. So they're actually quite strong. We pulled some honey off them. Now, oh, they're already annoyed with me.
Mm-hmm. Very annoyed.
Well, what we got going on here is this. What I got here is a frame that we've already pulled off a bunch of these frames, and I'm going to be setting this up. So I'm just going to try to drive these bees down. Now this smoker was loaded up with nothing but pine needles and an LCBO bag to start it. If anybody's watched some of my other videos, you would understand that I might have a few liquor store bags floating around this farm. So use what you got. So I don't know if you can hear that, but that is them being annoyed. Now if you look over here, I got one labeled wax frame. Let me see if I can pop this. All these frames were set back in the other day, so a lot of them are already very loose. You can use my J tool here. Just kind of loosen one up. This one is labeled wax frame because this one was actually made, oh my goodness, it's dripping. This is pure wax. We're going to cut this whole frame out and sell it as chunks of honeycomb wax. So the lovely thing of having pockets, what we're going to use right now, I got my the heck's that called, bee brush sitting there, but there's not too many on there, but we'll give it a good shake. And nobody came off because they're all little jerks. We're just going to use the bee brush there. If you're going to use anything on your bees, guys, get the actual proper tools. Don't play around. You're just going to hurt yourself or your livestock. Okay? Use the proper tools. So I'm going to set this over where I can work with it. I'm just going to put that crossways there. So that one we have to actually cut apart. Because it's a wax frame. The rest of these we'll be pulling normally. Actually, here's a good point. Take a quick look over here. You all saw how fast they got driven down by the smoke. Look at how fast they're back at the top of this frame. This is a very strong hive. Mildly aggressive, which I must say doesn't bother me so much, because in my experience, the mildly aggressive hives actually do better. This is the hive we pulled 55 pounds off of last year, that being our first year of this hive. Whoa. Ah. 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 I'm choking it out here. So we'll give you a look at another frame here, guys. So the one beautiful thing, I always suggest to everybody, have a couple tools if nothing else. You can use one tool to clean off the other tool, but this is your standard J tool that is used in beehives. This one, as a guy who's done windows my whole life, I've used this thing tons of times, and they'll sell this in stores for bees way more expensive than you just get it at the local home hardware, whatever you got in your area, Canadian Tire, any of that stuff. But that tool is a common little window pry tool. Easy to get, easy to find. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this other frame up that I brought over. These are the frames we pulled off them the other night before they got really grumpy. Now, I will say, if you want to start working with bees, if you get stung, it's your fault. It is almost never the bee's fault that you got stung. You're being too aggressive, you're being too grumpy. The bees are just doing what they're going to do. So don't ever take it out on the bees. Anytime you're dealing with livestock, just remember, it's livestock. They're not as smart as you, although some days I will say they're probably smarter than me. But you got to remember, they're just an animal. They're just doing their instincts. So all I'm going to do is drive these down. Hopefully they don't get too aggressive. My wife's not wearing this. I gave up and had to buy a jacket. Anyway, watch some of the earlier videos. Now, oh, they've already propelled. Now this is only 2 days since I popped this last hive. That's how quick they can start sticking these boxes together. So we're just going to move this. What I'm going to do is take this little partial frame over to my truck as it is. Now, this is one I set the other day. It's very light, as you can see how quick I'm moving it. That's just to get them interested in doing what they're doing. This is the full frame right here. Right above, see that metal rim there, guys? That's the queen excluder. I run a double brood box. I don't know if it's the best way, but as I try to do more research, that's all I can do. Some guys run singles. I'm trying to give them as much extra honey and as much extra space as I can. So what I'm going to do is just drive these down. The camera might have backed up a little bit because the bees are just flying up right now, and they're probably flying towards my lovely camera lady. She might not be as good as Ashley though, but she's doing her best, guys. Don't pick on her too badly. So we're just going to try to drive these ones down, and I'm going to pull this whole box. I'm going to set this one in. Now a lot of these are kind of half started. It's just whatever I pulled off. So, oh my goodness, look at them pouring out. You know what? While I got my lovely camera lady here, I'm just gonna try to show you guys something here. So we're just gonna get in and use the J tool. I will suggest, even though these are really cheap, this is a more expensive tool. You actually got to buy it with a bee supplier. It's got that beautiful J on it. Man alive, they are handy because they get right into these frames and you just lock it in and pry it up. And once you pry, you can grab, well, if you use your fingers properly, you can grab that edge, and just lift that up. And this one, that is all uncapped. That's all uncapped honey. We're not going to take that frame. You need to have about 70 to 90% of your frames capped before you take it. Otherwise, it ferments. So what I'm going to do is just set that in another frame, and maybe I'll just pull this piece by piece. So we'll just set one over. When it started, we'll just set it back in there, and hopefully the girls don't get too aggressive.
Just wait, buddy, okay?
But just thought you guys would like to look at what's in the inside of a hive here. I'd love to show you more, but I really got to say it's time to actually get some work done. So Let me show you one more. See again? That's all uncapped. It's very close. Look at all those young bees floating around on there. Now we don't have to worry about the queen because we have the queen excluder here. She's not coming up to this. This is just going to be straight honey. So now this piece right here, that's what we call burr comb. That's what we don't want them to do. You need to peel those pieces off. They get too aggressive. They start making goofy lines on you. You want to stop that. So I'm going to shake these bees off and break this piece off. They'll fix it up. It'll annoy them. But you can't let them do those pieces, otherwise you'll never pull the frames. Anyways, guys, thought you'd have a good time watching this. Have a good night. Time to let you go. I got to get some work done. Thanks for watching.